Hey, so I wanted to pop on and share three really important things that are coming through loud and clear through spirit. So the first one it's multiple layers. So it's kind of interesting the way that they gave this to me. So they are asking us the question, are you a space filler? So I want you to ask yourself that just for a second. Just, are you a space filler? Do you understand what it means, first of all? But see what kind of comes up for you, because what they're talking about by space fillers is that when we have the opportunity to create some space, which is so important when we're trying to heal stuff, when we're trying to grow, because that's where we can kind of accumulate energy from the subtle energy field of everything. It's in that space. And then we use that energy, that healing energy, to heal, to transform, to bring balance. And so what happens sometimes, though, is that when we have the opportunity to actually create some space, we actually fill the space with chatter and talk and thoughts, right? And so they want us to pay attention to that. And so for me, a lot of times when I'm getting my downloads from spirit, my information or the guidance, it happens in a couple of different times. So one in the morning, when I'm doing my celery juice, because I do my celery juice every morning. And when you do your celery juice, when you're juicing your celery juice, it's very monodic, right? Like it's very, I know the steps, I know them off by heart. So I don't have to think, there's no thinking involved. So it allows me to have like a lot of space, right? A lot of empty space. And so if I have the awareness of that, and often I do, because I realize this is an opportunity to meditate or practice meditation or mindfulness. And when I do that, spirit will come through and they will give me guidance and insights. The same thing can happen sometimes in the shower and the bath, right? It's stuff that you're automatically doing, you're on autopilot, so there's not a lot of thinking about it, so it creates that space. And here's something interesting that they showed me today. One of the other reasons why we receive messages like that when we're doing stuff is because when there's movement, when you're moving, so when I'm doing my celery juice, there's movement, right? I'm moving my hands, I'm washing, I'm doing stuff. Of course, when you're having a bath or a shower, you're washing and doing stuff. And so when there's movement, there's flow. And so flow in itself is not just necessarily movement, but it's an actual frequency, an actual energy, and it helps to bring things in and move things out. So that's really important, that when we are creating space, that we have some kind of flow, some kind of movement, right? You'll find that when you're moving, this is when we watch like painters or dancers or performers, when they're moving their body, they're bringing in that frequency. So two things are happening. They're creating that space because they're not thinking, they're not chattering. So that space is there, which then allows the subtle energy to come in from the quantum field, the healing energy to come in. And then that flow, because they're moving their bodies, that flow, which is a frequency, allows our body to use that energy. Does that make sense? So pay attention over the next little while, because this is going to be really important. When we're getting all of this big energy coming in, these light codes are coming in, all these high frequencies are coming in, which is awesome. But if you don't create the space and have the flow, you're not going to feel great with this energy, because it's a lot of energy coming in. And if your body can't utilize it, it's going to feel yucky. It's not going to feel good at all. So that's the first important thing that they talked to us about, which then segues us into the second one. And on this one, I want to make sure you guys don't shoot the messenger on this, okay? I'm just the messenger. They talked to me about resonance, okay? And so resonance meaning like attracts like. So as we're going through these huge upgrades, the ascension process, all of this stuff that we're doing, and we're not feeling good with it. So many I know are like just not feeling good, right? Their physical body's not feeling good. They're very emotional. There's a lot of stuff. I know for me, I'm thankful my physical body is doing well, but I'm getting tons and tons of emotions coming through, like tons. And that's also because I'm processing stuff with my mom, right? The stuff of her passing and all of that. But it's lots. And so what they want us to have the awareness of is that when we have stuff that's coming in or we're not feeling good, it's because we have that frequency within us that is not as high as it needs to be. You guys following me? Now remember, this is not a judgment. This is not a we're doing something wrong and oh, we're bad. And it's frequency. It's just simple frequency. When we are carrying frequencies that are lower in vibration than what's coming in, there's conflict, right? That conflict happens. And so where we would normally create that space, it can exist because there's chaos that gets created. It's like the low vibrational frequencies that are within us come in, the high comes in, and it's like all jumbled. And so it creates physical stuff in our body. It creates the anxiety. It can create the feelings of unwellness. It can create the sense of doom or sadness or depression. Just think about anything that's low frequency and how it makes you feel. And that's because you are carrying lower vibrational frequencies, which need to be, they don't just disappear. We have to heal them. So these are traumas, dramas, wounds, things that need your attention, that need our attention. We need to bring the light into them, but the light does not work by pushing something out or forcing something to move. It has to have that space to come in. So we are working really hard over the next little while of creating space, of allowing that light to come in so it can transform those lower vibrational frequencies within us into light. And that's what happens, right? Remember, the really cool thing about energy is it never disappears. It just changes form or changes frequency. And so we're part of that. We're the Spirit saying we're the catalyst for that. We're the catalyst for the frequency change. And so part of that, and this is point number 3, of what they're helping us with right now is they are helping us to recognize we have those frequencies within us. And then they're also helping us to clear them. And here's a really interesting way that they do this. They do it in the dream state. So have you ever had a dream where in the dream you're really emotional, like whatever emotion it is, whether it's anger or rage or hostility or sadness or grief, whatever it is, it's so intense though. Like you have the dream, in the dream you have the awareness that you're feeling this emotion. Even maybe when you wake up out of the dream, you're still feeling a little bit of this emotion. They showed me the reason they're doing this is so that they can put us in a experience where our subconscious mind can release and let go of these stored traumas, dramas, frequencies. That's pretty cool, right? And the reason they do it in the dream state is because we have too many blocks or too many fears that keep that suppressed energy within us in the wake state. So they do it in the dream state. Here's the thing they're telling me right now, and this is important. Don't get stuck on the details. Don't be like, oh, well, my dream was about my ex and it was about this person and it was that and this was. Don't get caught up in the details. All they're doing is putting in pieces to create an experience that allows us to feel the emotions so that we can release them, and heal them, have the awareness of them. So don't be like, oh, what does that mean? How, my ex showed up or my best friend showed up and now I was hating them or they were hurting me. Don't worry about that stuff. The purpose of the dream state right now is just to have that feeling come up, that which is a frequency, and then give us the playground to be able to release it, right? To release it through that flow, through that space. So let me know how your dreams are right now, because there's going to be a ton of healing that's happening in the dream state for all of us. and pay attention. Maybe, have the awareness. I know, like, I had a dream last night where I was like so angry, like angry. And I have the awareness of that's a frequency that I'm holding, that I'm carrying. So I have to release it. I have to transform it, but I can't just wish it away. So I have to hold the space, bring in the light, allow it to transform. It's a bit of a process, right? It's not just, oh, poof, and there, it's gone. I'll do some meditating and then it's all better. Or I'll go for a swim in the ocean, it's all better. It's not that easy. And it's not just as simple as, oh, I'm going to go walk in nature and ground. It's all of these things. Don't get me wrong. We have to do all of them. But it's not just one thing. It's not a sort of spirit thing. It's not an easy fix. And the reason that it's not an easy fix right now is because we are doing the work. Like, this is work. This is generational trauma. This is lineage trauma. We are doing the work. And it's not just surface. It's deep. We're doing the deep dive, guys. So pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention. Are you holding space? Are you creating space? Pay attention. Are you allowing flow to come in for you? All these things are going to help us. Sending you huge blessings.